Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone had a good Labor Day yesterday. Today I'm going to continue with the regular schedule, which today is the Level 2 workbook. Today we're doing a really useful lesson. We're going to learn how to say things like, I want to do something. Talking about things that you want to do. That's what we're going to learn in this lesson. It is suitable for beginners. Perhaps upper beginners, we are going to be using some things from previous lessons as well. But today, 안녕하세요. Today we are practicing this grammar form right here, the 고 싶다 grammar form. So this is used for talking about things you want to do. And what this little symbol here means is that it attaches to verbs. This V stands for verbs. So action verbs, talking about things you want to do with verbs. So the first thing we're going to practice is just conjugating it onto these verbs. And notice here in the instructions, it says to conjugate into the present tense. So we learned about present tense in previous lessons. Essentially for this, it's very simple. 고 싶다 just becomes 고 싶어요. In the casual, sort of polite, sort of informal, polite sort of tense, it becomes 고 싶어요. And it always becomes this in present tense. So it's going to be pretty simple to conjugate these, but let's have a look. I did not live yesterday. Sorry if you missed it. Yesterday was Labor Day in the US, so there was no live yesterday. But there is going to be one today, and there will be one next week. All right, let me just zoom in a little bit here because this is small, so you can see it a little bit better. So we're going to attach this 고 싶다 grammar form to the following verbs. The first one is the verb 가다. 가다 means to go. So how do you say I want to go somewhere? Well, first thing you do is you write this 가, and then always you take off the 다. When you're conjugating, you always do that. So now we just have 가, let's drop the 다. And now we add our 고 싶다. So we add 고 싶, and in the present tense it becomes 어요. 가고 싶어요. That means I want to go somewhere. So it's very simple. Let's look at another example. This verb here, 듣다. 듣다 means to listen. It means to listen. So when you attach this grammar form to 듣다, same thing. We drop the 다, so we have 듣, and now we add 고 싶어요. 듣고 싶어요 means I want to listen. So this is I want to go, this is I want to listen. Let's do this one. 사다. Does anyone know what this verb means in Korean? 사다. Have a guess if you recognize it. B, yeah, perfect. It means to buy. So, first things first, we take away 다. We're left with 사. And now we add 고 싶어요. This means I want to buy something. We don't know what they want to buy, but 사고 싶어요 means I want to buy something. All right, and you can see this 고 싶다 thing coming up in all of these verbs, and it attaches to this verb. It's called the verb stem. This 가, 트, 사, these are verb stems, and that's where you attach 고 싶다 to. And it does not matter if it ends on a vowel sound or a consonant sound, it's always 고 싶어요. All right, let's look at some more examples. This next one is 쓰다. 쓰다 means to use or write or wear. This verb has a lot of different meanings depending on, or to be bitter as well. So this has a lot of meanings, but just to practice the conjugation, 그 책을 사고 싶어요. Oh, beautiful sentence. 감사합니다. I like it very much. So 쓰다, same thing. You take away 다, just write 쓰, and then we add 고 싶다. 고 싶어요 in the present tense. It's easier to understand than my language professors. Sometimes. I won't claim that all the time, but I'm glad it's easy to understand. And again, see these two parts, right? You have the verb stem, s, and then you have 고 싶어요, which is this grammar form right here. This verb here, 있다. Does anyone know what this verb means? 있다. Write in the comments if you recognize it. To be, almost, no, not quite. To read, beautiful. Kelly, yes. To read. 있다 is the verb to be. So they do actually look very similar. It might just be too small for you to see, actually. So, fair enough. 있다 means to read. So you take off 다. You're left with this ik sort of consonant or syllable. And then you add 고 싶어요. 읽고 싶어요 means I want to read. Means I want to read. Again, same two parts. You can see the trend, right? You can see how this works. Last one, 만나다. 만나다 means to meet. To meet someone or something. So same thing. Now this time we have two syllables, right? So we keep both of them, just drop the 다. So we have 만나, that's our verb stem, and then we add 고 싶어요. This means I want to meet. So if you're texting someone and they say 만나고 싶어요, that means they want to meet you. When or where, we're not sure, but they want to meet. 만나고 싶어요. Or if you want to meet someone else, you can say 만나고 싶어요. I want to meet you. Which book is this so I can buy the right one? This is level 2, the level 2 workbook. We have 4 available. This is the second one in the series. This is the cover if you want to screenshot it. This book does rely on information from the first book, so optionally you can buy both, because this one will ask you to use knowledge from the first book as well. All right. Now we have an exercise, translating into English. Given the Korean sentences, write an equivalent English expression. All right. So let's look at these together. The first one, A, is 저는 피자를 만들고 싶어요. 저는 피자를 만들고 싶어요. So what does this mean? Let's break it down. This first thing, 저는 means I. So we can just start with that, I. Now this pizza, you might recognize, is the word pizza. In Korean, you can just say pizza to mean pizza. So I pizza 만들고 싶어요. So we know this 고 싶어요 means I want to do, right? And then we have, look here to see the verb. This is the verb 만들다. 만들다 means to make. Kylie, yeah, beautiful. So 만들다 means to make. So 만들고 싶어요 means I want to make something. What do you want to make? It's pizza, right? Pizza is the object of this verb. We know this because of the object particle. So the thing that you want to make is pizza. I want to make pizza is what this means. Literally, I pizza make want to do. Literally. All right, B. 저는 비행기를 타고 싶어요. So what does this mean? Well, again, we have our 고 싶어요, but this verb is a new verb, 타다. Callie, yeah, good job. 타다 means to ride. Literally to ride. In this situation, it could probably be translated to take, because we're taking a 비행기. A 비행기 is a plane, an airplane. So I, plane, want to ride, literally. Or I'm going to say take, because you can say I want to ride an airplane, right? But it sounds a little bit weird. I want to take an airplane. I want to ride on a plane. Yeah, you could say that too. I want to take an airplane. I want to take a plane. All of those are good translations. All right, C. 레이첼은 여행하고 싶어 해요. So what's going on here? This 고 싶어 해요 thing. Be careful about this. This is a little trick that can sort of catch you out. Notice how in these sentences we're talking about 저는. You're talking about yourself. So 싶어요 is appropriate. But if you're talking about somebody else, in this case we're talking about Rachel, right? If we're talking about what someone else wants to do, you should use the 싶어 해요 form. This is the active form of the verb. You don't need to know that. But essentially you can remember that if you're talking about the wants of other people, you should use 고 싶어 해요. Rachel from Friends. Exactly. She wants to do a 여행. She wants to go traveling. So Kaylee, yes, Rachel wants to go on vacation. Good job. 여행하다 is to travel or go on a trip or take a vacation. So 여행하고 싶어 해요 means someone else wants to travel. In this case, it's Rachel. Rachel wants to travel. All right. What about this next one? 크리스는 엔지니어가 되고 싶어 해요. What book am I using? This is the book, the Level 2 workbook. This is the cover right here. It is linked in this live stream. It is on our website and on Amazon as well. You can find it through our bio. Kaylee, beautiful. This is a little bit tricky, right? We've got some new things happening here, but let's look at how it works. So again, we are talking about someone else. This time we're talking about Chris. So notice that we're using the 고 싶어 해요 form because we're talking about the wants of someone else. In this case, the wants of Chris. What does Chris want to do? He wants to engineer가 되다. Now this engineer, sometimes it's the hardest words. It's the English words that have been put in Korean, borrowed. These loan words are so hard. Engineer is engineer in Korean. And he wants this 되다 grammar, this 되다 verb means to become. Means to become. So this means Chris wants to become an engineer. Or just be. You could probably just say that in English. Chris wants to be an engineer or become an engineer. Question. What's the difference between 하다 and 되다? That's a little bit of an advanced question for this level, but I will say that 하다 is the active form and 되다 is the passive form of things. That's the case when you look at certain verbs, but it's a little bit of a high-level question that I won't go into too much right now. Oftentimes, 하다 uses the object particle, 되다 uses the subject particle. Differences like that. It's got to do with the active and passive verbs. All right. And then now we have the other way around. So we've got these sentences in English. Let's write some equivalent sentences in Korean. Now notice also in here, we are asked to get another highlighter to use this 지 않다 grammar form as well. So we're going to add in 지 않다. What does 지 않다 mean? This means to not or don't do something. Not or don't do something. What's the difference between 고 싶어요 and 고 싶어 해요? Good question. So 고 싶어요 is used when talking about yourself, talking in the first person. You use 싶어 해요 if you're talking about other people or talking in the third person. Hopefully that answers your question. So this first one, A, I don't want to eat pizza. Let's write this. So we're talking about ourselves, right? So we can say 저는. It means I in Korean. This is optional. You don't have to include 저는. If you drop it, people are going to assume you're talking about yourself, but let's put it in just to say 저는. I don't want to eat pizza. So remember that Korean sentences go subject, object, verb. So we need to put the object next. What is the object? It is pizza. Pizza is the thing that you want to eat. It is the object of the sentence. So we go pizza, and we know it's the object, right? It's the thing you're eating. So we use the object particle. By the way, if you need more practice with these particles, definitely go back into level 1 and practice those. This is the title of the book. It is called the Level 2 Workbook. This is what the cover looks like. You can check it out if you're interested. So 저는 피자를 I don't want to eat. So we've got 3 things to combine here. First, we start with the verb 먹다. Take away 다 to get the verb stem. 먹. 먹 means, well, 먹다 means to eat. 먹 here is the verb stem. Now we add our 고 싶다, which means to want. Okay, I'm gonna have to cross that out. But 고 싶다 is to want to do. And then we add on our 지 않다, which becomes 지 않아요 in the present tense. So 먹고 싶지 않아요 is all kind of one clump of things, but it means that you don't want to eat. Literally eat, want, not. So I don't want to eat. Pizza, me. I pizza, eat, want, not. It's kind of a strange translation, but literally that's what you're doing in these sentences. Let's look at B. I don't want to do homework. Okay, so again it's I, so you can start with 저는. Now, to do homework, homework is the object here. And homework in Korean is 숙제. It is the object of the verb, so we use the object particle. 숙제를. Now, don't want to do. Here we just have the simple verb to do, which is 하다. 하다 is to do, or you can learn that 숙제를 하다 means to do homework. That's also fine. So then we have our 고 싶, right? This is our want to do part. And then we finish with our 지 않아요, which means not, negate that thing. 저는 숙제를 하고 싶지 않아요. That means I don't want to do homework. Kaylee, beautiful. Kylie, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Chasing Alvi, yes, beautiful. Good job. Next, C. I don't want to drink coffee. Okay, we're talking about ourselves, so 저는. The object is coffee, which is 커피. And again, it's the object of the sentence, so we use the object particle. 커피를. Now the verb to drink, Valeria, good point. You can use 2 verbs here. You can say 먹다 or you can use 마시다. It's not that commonly known actually, but this 먹다 verb, when you learn it, you learn that it means to eat. But 먹다 can also be used for things that you drink. Literally, 먹다 probably is more appropriately translated to consume something or to have something. It can be used for both liquids and solids. So just know, you can actually use 2 things here. I'm going to use 마시다 because it's the one that most learners know, but you can also say 먹다. Where can I get this book? This book is available on our website, on Amazon, and on TikTok Shop as well. 저는 커피를 마시고 싶지 않아요. So again, we have these 3 pieces. They all work together. They all come together to create meaning. This is something that I love about Korean, is you can learn all these pieces and then you can start building them together to create meaning. So it's really fun. Do you know a free website that's excellent to learn Korean? A free website, How to Learn Korean is pretty good. Who else? YouTube has a lot of good stuff that's free as well. All right. 안녕하세요. Hello. D. Can you say an? Yes. You can also use an. It's just very slightly more casual, more common in speaking than G anta. If you use an, then a sentence would be like 저는 피자를 안 먹고 싶어요. You would put the an here and then take out this is what you would do. I'm good, thank you. What book is this? This is the book, the level 2 workbook. This is what the cover. Ko typically means and, I believe. Ko, yeah, I mean, it's used in a grammar form meaning and, but it's by itself not really a word. It's a piece of grammar that connects with other things. And here it doesn't really mean and because it's part of this 고싶다, which means to want to do something. Lucy, good job doing it 2 ways even. So great work. And this one we are using 지않다, but you can definitely use an as well. That's totally fine. All right. D, I don't want to buy water. All right, we have 저는, right? That means I. Now our object, the thing that we're buying is water. Hello. So, 물. Now this ends on a consonant, right? So be careful to use for the object particle. 물을. Now to buy is 사다. 사고 싶다 means to want to buy. 사고 싶지 않아요 means I don't want to buy. All right, so we have our pieces again. You'll see them repeat in all of these sentences because that's just how Korean works. You've got these blocks building up again. 그 책은 어디에서 살 수 있나요? 우리 웹사이트에서 살 수 있습니다. 그리고 틱톡 숍에서 살 수 있어요. All right. E. James doesn't want to work. James doesn't want to work. Okay, so be careful about this, right? We're using someone else's name. We're talking about the feelings of someone else. So we need to use our 싶어 해요 form. Be careful about this. Let's see how this works. James doesn't want to work. So we'll start with the name James. James는. Now to work is 일하다. 일하다 becomes 일하고 싶어 하다 싶어 하지 않아요. So the pieces are still there. We're just changing this 고 싶다 to 고 싶어 하다 because we're talking about someone else, not ourselves. We're talking about James. James는 일하고 싶어 하지 않아요. All right, it's the same situation here. So let's practice this. Nadia didn't want to play the drums. Oh, extra thing. This is the past tense, right? So we're also going to be using the past tense here. So careful. Nadia. Nadia is Nadia. Nadia는. What does Nadia not want to do? She didn't want to play the drums. Now to play the drums is, we could probably say 드럼을 치다. 치다 means to play. 드럼을 치고 싶어 하다, right? Someone else. 지 않다. But we got to put this in the past tense. 안 왔어요. Alright, so we've got a lot of things happening here, right? But if you've been learning Korean for a while, you'll probably recognize these things. First, we have the verb stem from 치다, to play. Then we have 고 싶어 하다, to mean want to do when talking about something else. Oh, what a question. What is 연주하다? 연주하다 is literally to perform. Like if you're giving a performance or like doing a show, that's 연주하다. Good question. So, 지 않다, and then we also have, I'm running out of highlighter colors, but this 안 왔어요 is the past tense. How can we write someone's name? So that's a good question. In the start of this book, we do like define these people so you can sort of see how their name is written. In general, though, outside of that, probably my recommendation is to put the name in Papago and just see how it romanizes it. Yeah. What is the name of the book? The name of the book is Level 2 Workbook. This is the title of the book. 매일 실시간 스트리밍을 하시네요? 아니요. 매일 아니다. 월요일이랑 화요일. No. Yeah. Isn't hada also sometimes used for playing instruments? Yeah, so hada can be used for both. You can use hada. Chida is also used. Yeah, sorry, Tuesdays. Mondays and Tuesdays I stream. Yeah. All right, so we had this sentence which was quite tricky, but we got it, right? We figured it out. And then now let's do some more practice with some different grammar forms. So on the previous page, we looked at using, what do we do? 지 않다. Now here we're going to practice using 에서. 에서 is used to talk about doing something at or in some place. So we're going to look at some sentences that use 에서 with 고 싶다. All right. 시간대. It's 5시 in Eastern time zone. I don't know what Eastern time zone is in Korean. I apologize. 5시에 스트리밍 해요. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern time zone. All right. So this first one is I want to drive on the freeway. I want to drive on the freeway. Now, freeway has been provided, Mondays and Tuesdays. And freeway, it looks like it's 고속도로. 고속도로 is freeway. So we're going to start with that to say, I want to drive on the freeway. 고속도로. Now, on the freeway is you add 에서. That means on the freeway. 고속도로에서. Now, to drive is the verb 운전하다. Ooh. And then, so we take the verb, right? Take off 다, and it becomes 고 싶어요. 운전하고 싶어요. Apologies for my messy handwriting there. 고속도로에서 운전하고 싶어요. So we're not using 지않다, right, anymore, because we're not talking about things that we don't want to do. We're talking about things that we want to do. In this case, we want to do 운전하다 on the freeway. All right. All right, let's look at number B, or letter B. I want to play guitar in band class. So band class has been provided as a vocab word. It is bandebu. Bandebu is kind of like a Korean culture thing. In a lot of schools, they have band class, where they play K-pop songs together. It's not necessarily like American style band with like sports stadiums. It's more like pop, rock, whatever it is, that kind of band class. I'm not American, so I'm not sure about all these cultural differences, but I hope that gets across the point. I want to play guitar in band class. So in band class is bandebu. 에서, right? In band class. And what do they want to do? They want to play guitar. So, guitar, that is guitar in Korean. Just the English word written in Korean. 기타를, it's the object of our verb, right? The thing you want to play. 기타를 치고 싶어요. 치다, we saw earlier, means to play something like an instrument using your hands, is 치다. So 치고 싶어요 means I want to play. C, I want to live in an apartment. I want to live in an apartment. Apartment is 아파트. Again, kind of the English word written in Korean. 아파트에서 means in the apartment. In an apartment. 아파트에서. Now to live, the verb to live is 살다. So that becomes 살고 싶어요. I want to live in an apartment. And now all of these sentences could use 저는, right? If you want, you can write 저는 as well in your sentences, but that is optional. You don't have to do that. Leaving it out is perfectly natural as well. Everim, hopefully that answers your questions. It answers your question. The I subject is dropped. It's still there, but it's just been dropped from the sentence. It is assumed. Question, is this Korean? Yes, it is. Correct. All right. D, I don't want to live in a dormitory. Dormitory, you may not know, is 기숙사. 기숙사 is dormitories. How do you say you don't want to do that? Well, we had that on the previous page, right? That's 지않다. So we've got to include that in our sentence as well. First, though, let's put our 에서 to say in a dormitory. Don't want to live. The verb is the same, right? 살다, to live. But this, we're going to add our 지않다. Now, there's another way you can say this as well. You can also use 안. So if you say 기숙사에서 안 살고 싶어요, that is also correct. Both of those answers are provided in the back of the book as being correct answers. So you can use either. Both are not natural. Both are, correct. It's just personal preference. All right. 기숙사에서 살고 싶지 않아요. or 기숙사에서 안 살고 싶어요. All right. E. Rachel doesn't want to work at home. All right. So careful, right? We have Rachel now. This is someone else. So that should trigger you to think, oh, I need to use 고 싶어 하다 here. All right. But you did say 안 was a little bit less formal, right? Yes, I did. an is a little bit less formal. If you're writing any like essays or something, I would use 고 싶다 instead of an. They're both correct though. It's just 고 싶다 is a little bit more literary feeling, but it's also perfectly normal to use in conversation as well. All right, so starting with Rachel. 레이철은, right? She's the topic of our sentence. Rachel, we're talking about Rachel. She doesn't want to work at home. So home in Korean is 집. At home is 집에서. Same particle. And then to work is 일하다. That becomes 일하고 싶다. To say want to do, which of course we need to add our 지 않다 or our an to make it negative. So again, there's two ways to say this. I'm actually going to write the other one because there's a trick. If you want to use an here, you have to be careful because 일하다 is a separable 하다 verb. So you have to put the 일을 안 하고 싶어. You have to put it in the middle. I know Chib from my 2 p.m. My House song. Yeah, it's funny the words you can pick up in strange places. All right, so I'm going to highlight these parts. 하고 싶어요. So be careful of this. Depending on which grammar form you use, there might be some differences with how you translate it. Because they behave slightly differently in different sentences. Thank you, Jules. And the spelling of Rachel, there's probably multiple ways to write it. Honestly, it's not that important. As long as you kind of get the sound, roughly there. It's not a Korean name, obviously, it's an English name, so the spelling is kind of subjective. Could be Rachel or Rachel or, lots of different things. All right. So, last one, we're going to combine 고 싶다 with 더. 더 means as well or also or to. To or also or as well. So how this works is you stick 더 on some noun and it means also that noun. It's very simple. It's actually, in my opinion, easier than how we do things in English, but that's a different conversation. All right, write sentences using 고 싶다 that also use 더. Place 더 on the word in bold. 몇 시간 동안 스트리밍 하시나요? 보통 1시간 동안 스트리밍 해요. Alright. A. I also want to drink water. So notice how water here is in bold. That means that's where we attach 더. This 더 always attaches to nouns. 저도 물을 먹고 싶어요. So be careful of this. So I also want to drink water. There's a couple places you can attach 더. And we're telling you in this to attach it to the water. But this is interesting because this is kind of in my opinion, a failing of English. That if you say, I also want to drink water, the meaning of this sentence, if you think about it, is kind of ambiguous, right? Does this mean that, I also want to drink water, like as well as other people? Does it mean I want to drink water as well as other beverages? Like, English is very vague. There's not really a way to specify unless you add to the sentence or place emphasis. But in Korean, it's actually very simple. You just put 더 on whatever it is that you want also of. So in this case, 저는, I, 물도, water also, right? Also water and other beverages, 물도, 마시고 싶어요. That means I want to drink water as well as other things. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. My handwriting is a little messy perhaps, but I appreciate you saying that. And again, we have our verb stem, 마시, that comes from the verb 마시다, which means to drink. 마시고 싶어요 means I want to drink, in this case, water. Shouldn't it be 저도? I did also just mention that in the instructions it says place 도 on the word in bold. On the word in bold, which in this case is water. Does the difference between 고 싶어요 and 싶어해요? So, 고 싶어요 is used when talking in the first person. So, speaking on behalf of yourself, speaking about your wants. 고 싶어해요 is used when talking about the wants of other people. In other words, speaking in the third person. All right. So notice how here we're talking about Rachel, right? Rachel doesn't want. So this one uses 고 싶어해요. This one, I just caught that. This one should be 싶어해요. Because I forgot that. This should be 고 싶어하다. My apologies. It should be 고 싶어하다. And this one up here. Valeria, you are correct. Yes. All right. B, if we can continue here, I also want to live in an apartment. Oh, no, I mean 보고 싶어요 with 보고 싶어요 has a space between. Oh, so spacing in Korean is a funny thing because native speakers sometimes will take out spaces or add spaces. And to be honest, it's kind of confusing because the rules of spacing have changed over time. So you might have people who, insist that the spacing should be this way or the other way. Really, it doesn't matter too much. It should have a space between it. The proper Korean way is to put a space between 고 and 싶다. But you will probably see it written all in one chunk when you see native speakers write it, because native speakers, it doesn't really matter. They have their own preferences. They get lazy, whatever the reason is. So be prepared to see it all in one chunk, but to be the most properly correct, there should be a space. And if you're doing anything formal, I would always leave a space. But if you're like texting or whatever, you can drop the space too, that's fine. All right. Yes, I see very MZ generation don't do that. Yeah, I think it's definitely, as time goes on, language gets, easier, right? Same in English. You get shortcuts, you get slang, you get things taken out. So that's also happening in Korean as well. I also want to live in an apartment. Okay, so apartment is 아파트. In an apartment is 에서. And now how do we say also in an apartment? This is where the 도 goes. 아파트에서도. Now, it's a kind of little interesting note that this 도 particle replaces subject, object, and topic particles. So that's why this is not 물을, right? It's just 물도. But the 에서 and 에 particles stay. So 아파트에서도 means also in an apartment. I want to live is 살고 싶어요. 아파트에서도 살고 싶어요. I want to live in an apartment as well as other places. I also want to live in an apartment. So you're talking, you'd like to live in an apartment, you'd like to live in a condo, you'd like to live in a townhouse, but also an apartment. All right, C. I also want to learn Korean. So now the I is bolded. So here's where we have 저도. This means me as well. Me as well. 저도 한국어도 배우고 싶어요. Deborah, beautiful sentence. Good job. 저도. I also want to learn Korean. So the object here is Korean. 한국어 is the Korean language. 도, also Korean, also as well as other languages. And then to learn, the verb is 배우다, which becomes 배우고 싶어요. 저도. I also, 한국어를, this should be 를. I also Korean want to learn. You can have more than one call in a sentence, but it's not like the most natural usually, unless, you really are talking about lots of different things. What level is this? This is level 2 that we are in right now. The level 2 workbook. Guys, what is 한국말? 한국말 and 한국어 are equivalent words. 한국말 is like the language, Korean, they both mean Korean language. There's not really a difference between them. They are both used sort of interchangeably. Speech, yeah. 한국말 is like Korean speech, Korean speaking. 한국어 is like the language of Korea. But 한국말 isn't just referring to like speaking. It does mean like all the language as well. I don't know. You can treat them as the same, I think. So you can say 저도 한국말을 배우고 싶어요, or 저도 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. That means you want to learn languages, multiple languages, also Korean. Oh no, wait, it means 저도. It means I also want to learn Korean as well as other people. My friends, my family, maybe you also want to learn Korean, and I do as well. 저도. Is it okay to use 저는 한국어? Yes. You can say 저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. It just doesn't mean I also, it just means I. I want to learn Korean. If you want to say I also want to learn Korean, as in myself as well, that's 저도. Okay. Chris also wants to ride his bike. All right. 감사합니다. Can we skip 를? Yes, you can. You can drop 를. You can just say 저도 한국어 배우고 싶어요. That's fine. It's a little bit more casual. The 를 is more correct for writing, but it is commonly dropped. You can skip it. Is there a rule in Korean to make 서 easier to say? No, unfortunately. I think it's just getting time to get your tongue used to it, takes practice. I'm certainly not perfect at it. A lot of these, the pronunciation is still something that I work on. But yeah, time will make it easier. Chris also wants to ride his bike. Okay, so here, right, we're talking about someone else. We're talking about 크리스. 크리스는. I saw someone say 크리스 씨. That's also good. It's just a little bit more formal. You're treating Chris with more respect. If you add 크리스 씨, that's fine. It's just a little bit more formal. I'm just saying 크리스는. I'm assuming that Chris is a friend or someone that I know. He's not my boss or anything. 크리스는 also wants to ride his bike. So bike is 자전거. 자전거도 also his bike. He wants to ride it. To ride is 타다. So that becomes 타고 싶어요. How about we use 가 in a noun subject? You can use 가. You can say 크리스가 자전거도 타고 싶어요. That's also correct. That is also correct. Do we skip his? Yes. There is a way to say literally Chris wants to ride like Chris's bike. You could say Chris는 Chris의 자전거를, but that's not supernatural. I think the assumption here is that the bike does belong to him. It's not like someone else's bike. So I think that's dropping it is the most natural. Oh, Shippo, thank you. Heyo. I keep forgetting that part. Shippo heyo, thank you. I could say that I'm doing it as a learning exercise to make sure you're paying attention, but really I'm just forgetting to do it. Shippo heyo is correct. Shouldn't we put Thor after Chris? You can put Thor after Chris, but this exercise asks you to put it on the noun in bold, which in this case is bike. If you said 그랬어도, that means Chris also. Whereas if you say 자전거도, it means a bicycle also. So it just depends what the meaning is. Both are possible. All right. And again, there's no object particle here, right? Because 도 replaces it. The hada part isn't part of the verb itself. It's only when talking about someone else. Yes, the hada part is part of the someone else form. Question, when do we need to use shippoyo and when do we use shippoheyo? So, if you're speaking in the first person, if you're saying talking about the things you want, I want, you use shippoyo. If you're talking about things that other people want to do, in this case Chris wants to do, you use shippoheyo. Alright. Alright. Chris also wants to ride his bike. 크리스는 자전거도 타고 싶어 해요. Alright. And last one, James also wanted to go swimming. Okay, so a couple things, right? We have another subject, someone else, James, so we need to use our shippo hada verb. We also have the past tense, so it's got to be in the past tense as well. So we've got a couple things going on. Let's try it. First, we want our topic, which is James. James is our topic. James는. All right. Do we have PDFs? Yes, we do. James는. James도. My apologies. Should be James도 because he is the subject in bold. James도. James도. Now to swim is 수영하다. 수영하다 becomes 수영하고 싶어 하다, right? Because that is the someone else part. Someone else, we're talking about James, so 싶어 하다, but we need this in the past tense. 싶어 했어요. That is the past tense form of 싶어 해요. James도 수영하고 싶어 했어요. All right, so we've been combining lots of different things here. In this case, 도 means also James. 수영하고 싶어 하다 is to want to do, but in the past tense, it becomes 했어요. All right. What does 도 mean? Yeah, it means also. All right. Heyo, I'm Chris and I want me too. Shippo heyo, yeah. And again, you can add she. I see people using she. That's also correct. It's just a little bit more polite, a little bit more formal. Depends on your relationship with James. If James is someone that you know well, maybe you just say his name. If he's someone that you want to honor, he's someone special or, you know, of higher standing than you, you could say James is she. So it just depends. Y and D, 도 is not in the subject as it happens in E. So it's just because of this rule here, place 도 on the word in bold, and it's this is where we're putting 도 just for practice. All right. Yeah, you're welcome. So that brings us to the end of the activities. There is also a dictation. Is there another way to say that because he wanted to go? Oh, like, is there another way to say that he wanted to do something? Yeah, there are some other ways you can say it. I won't get into it in this live stream, but there's lots of ways to talk about things you want or intend or things like that. All right. So there is a dictation here as well. I won't do it in this live stream, but if you do get the book, make sure you practice this. It's a really good exercise for you to sort of practice your listening skills. You just follow the QR code, listen to the track, and write down what you hear. It's a good exercise. And there is another exercise that I won't do in this live stream, but I recommend that you do if you get the book. This is a free writing exercise, which means we just give you some words and some verbs, and we ask you to try writing your own sentences. We do provide some answers in the back. There's no correct answers to this section, but we do give some examples of things that you could say. Things like this. This is some examples of things you could say, like I want to go to the airport, I want to play in the park, etc. So we give some examples in the back, but this is your space to practice for yourself. Will the next live, will you continue this book? Yes, the next live I just continue. I continue with the next chapter. 책을 만드셨나요? 네. 네. I did not make it by myself. I made it in collaboration with Eugen Kim and Chelsea Guerra. So the three of us together made this book. But I'm the only one that does the live streams. All right. Thank you. So this is the book. One more time, the cover if you want to check it out. There are currently 4 books in the series, level 1 through 4. If this was too easy for you, you can check out levels 3 and 4. And then if it's too hard for you, I recommend checking out level 1. You can download the books as a PDF to your iPad. Yes, that is completely possible. You can buy the PDF format from our website. And just download it straight to your device, whether that's a tablet, iPad, phone, whatever, and you can use it as a PDF as well. You can even buy the PDF and print it yourself. If you're not able to get shipping easily, you can get the PDF and print it at home. That's fine as well. Where can we buy it? It is available on TikTok Shop. Through TikTok Shop, you can also buy it on our website, and you can buy it on Amazon. Teaching Korean is really difficult. You're awesome. Oh, thank you. It's not easy, right? Korean and English are very different languages, but I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. Okay, so next time, if you want to come back next week, we are going to do 와과, 이랑, and 하고. These are the and particles. Thank you very much. So if you want to come back next time, that'll be 5 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday. You can come back and learn some more. The live streams are totally free. You can come and join in wherever you like. And if you're interested, I encourage you to check out the books. You can get the books and you can go at your own pace. You can go ahead, you can go back. And there are complete answers in the back, so you can always check those yourself. 네, 감사합니다. 다음 주에 봐요. See you next week, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you had a good time, and I'll see you next week. 감사합니다. 다음에 봐요. Bye.